Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm sharing with you something a little bit different, and that is how to cram and study for a whole semester worth of content in a single week. Obviously, I do not recommend doing this because it's not great for long-term learning and it's very draining to actually execute. However, life gets busy sometimes and we can't quite get to doing everything we want and need, which is why I've decided to make this video. But anyways, comment down below which test or final exam you are most nervous for, and let's get started with the video. Starting with the first of two stages, the planning and preparation stage. Obviously, when put in a situation like this, which I am currently in, you feel stressed, overwhelmed, and lost. And these feelings exist because you know that you have a lot to do, but you don't quite know where to get started. And so we are going to start by tackling just that. And so the first thing you want to do is make a list of all the content that you need to learn alongside all the resources that you have access to. You can easily make this list by referring to your syllabus, and when I mention resources, it could be anything ranging from official slides, transcripts, podcasts, or modules that's been uploaded by your professor, or notes from your friends, upper years, or any external online resources. And so whatever you have access to or have been told to be useful for a particular part of the course, make sure you make note of it to its corresponding unit. Then we want to organize the list in order of confidence. Obviously, because we don't have a lot of time to work with, you want to focus on the content that you are least familiar with or haven't really been exposed to as much, compared to reviewing and spending time picking out the details of another topic. At this stage, you may want to ask your peers who have done the unit about which one's taking longer to do or is more content heavy, which brings me to the next point of getting a calendar and blocking out the specific period of time for tackling each unit or lecture. When doing this, you definitely want to be realistic by scheduling in breaks or spreading out the content over as many days as it's available to you. Being overly ambitious can result in a loss of motivation early on, which we definitely want to prevent. And as much as we want to focus on one course at a time, be aware of your other deadlines and your other courses to avoid any overlap in planning. Finally, now that we have the plan, get rid of your phone and we are about to get started with cramming and studying. Now, before we move on, I do want to mention that depending on the class you're cramming for, your schedule can look completely different. For me, I'm trying to get through quite a lot of content for stats and epidemiology, which involves just watching the lecture and doing some practice questions. But this would look completely different for a course like anatomy or physics or chemistry. But if you're planning to leave a course till the end, be smart about the course you choose, because some are impossible to cram for. But anyways, on to the second stage, execution, which is also the most crucial part of the process, because anyone can make a study schedule, but the difference between you and someone else could be how well those plans are carried out. The result you get is highly reflective of how well you followed through with your plan. So let's get started with the first point of this section, which is to get exposed to all the testable content of the course. Now is not the time to focus on the smallest details and numbers, but rather get a general understanding and draw the connections between all concepts. It is important to keep in mind how high yield each unit may be. If you know that a certain unit will be represented by a single question on the test, then that may not be your priority compared to another unit that makes up half of the test. Additionally, if you know that the way your course is taught is not necessarily the most clear, it may be efficient to consult a secondary or external resource directly. One of my favorites being Wandrium. Wandrium is a premium video subscription service that enriches your life experiences with approachable and comprehensive content in the areas of entertainment and education. It brings you content from trusted and respected experts in the form of long or short course videos, tutorials, how-tos, documentaries, or series. In essence, it's a place for you to explore and for your mind to wander. For me, Wandrium has been really helpful in presenting some of my course content in the form of videos, which I prefer compared to readings or textbooks, and it serves as an additional avenue when it comes time to review and revise for my exams. The most recent video I watched was an explanation for part of the musculoskeletal system, specifically about how your bones grow and ossify as you age, which helped clarify and expand on what I learned in my anatomy class. Now, if you're interested in trying out Wandrium for yourself, head over to the link shown on the screen or in the description for a free trial and subscribe to Premium to explore more. Lastly, if the same content from a textbook is available in a video or audio format, then resort to those and listen to them on 2x speed with the transcript or subtitles. Again, the purpose is to be exposed to all the content at least once, and of course, the speed in which you go through this depends on the course you are cramming for. Now, as you go through these lectures, I would suggest not bothering to make proper notes or flashcards, simply because they will take a lot of time and you will likely not get another chance to revisit them. This is why having access to external resources, such as the notes of your peers, can become really helpful. It can act as your reference to tie all the points and concepts together from the lecture or reading. Once you've been exposed to some content, something that can be really helpful is by making a summary sheet for yourself. You can do this when you immediately finish a unit or lecture by grabbing a piece of blank paper and trying to recall as much content as possible. Then go back with a different colored pen to add or cross out any information by referring to a standard set of notes. This will act as your source of reinforcement and active recall, which is far more efficient than making flashcards. Another approach could be reaching out to your peers or friends to have a group study session. You can get clarifications for the more complex topics, while they can try to study and recall the information in an attempt to teach you. Similarly, you can attend office hours or review sessions. Keep in mind that these are not always the most useful if you're not caught up with the speed of the class. So in those circumstances, I would periodically evaluate if the lesson is actually useful, and if not, I would leave to study on my own. Finally, most relevant to classes like physics or chemistry, get a hold of practice tests with answers and explanations and just go through and read them. At this point, if you're cramming, you won't have time to actually go through and manually solve each of them yourself, so it'd be most beneficial to at least be aware of the question types and a general approach to obtaining the solution. And those are pretty much all the tips I have on how to cram. Just a reminder of the obvious, it's still important to maintain a somewhat regular sleep schedule and try to go on walks during your breaks to avoid distractions. And just accept that you've done your best with the time and resources you had when going into the exam. I'm sure no one wants to be put in a situation like this, and tell ourselves that we'll never do it again until next time. But anyways, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out more of my content, and all of my social media will be linked in the description box below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!